Last night on Monday Night Raw, Rhea Ripley did something that got a lot of people talking. She body slammed Luke Gallows. Yeah, the big LG, Doc Gallows. She body slammed him, I guess with ease. Much to the surprise of everybody. And later on, Gallows said he has an idea of how to, kind of neutralize, counteract Rhea Ripley. But the question is, who is this going to be? Who does Doc Gallows, Luke Gallows, and the OC bring to the table, to counter Rhea Ripley? Well, numerous names have come about, and we're going to talk about those names real quickly. We're going to talk about those names real quickly, but before we do, guys, do me a favor. This is something I should do at the beginning and instead of the end, but normally the end is pretty good to do it in, but still, I'm going to try to do both, but I'm going to start trying to do this more so at the beginning to get it out there. Before we do, like the video, and hit the notification button, to find out when videos come out and everything in the near future. Also, ladies and gentlemen, do me a solid favor, and when this premieres as you're watching it, support me in the live chat with a super chat or super sticker, whatever you can do. Also, afterwards, when it's done, support me as best you can with a super thanks. Would love for that to be, something you can give my way or lend my way. Also, ladies and gentlemen, check me out at Venmo at Brian-Walmer-2, Cash App at BWRoses98, guys. These are direct results and ways for me to get financially supported. And believe me, guys, right now, with the unknown status of the California gas rebate stimulus, it's, a moment right now I definitely need some financial help. So if you could do that, whatever you guys can do, Venmo at Brian-Walmer-2 and Cash App at BWRoses98 would be great ways to help me out. You could also find me at BW Roses Discussions on all your favorite audio podcast platforms except for Pandora, VENMO at BW Roses for content you can't get here on YouTube due to certain reasons. You can also support me at Patreon.com at BW Roses with a $1 or $3 tier. Also, you can find me at deviantart.com at BVW1979. And also check out the Teespring store for merchandise you can't get anywhere else, especially in time for the upcoming holiday season. Now, with that in mind, guys, let's talk about who Luke Gallows and the OC could bring in to counteract, neutralize Rhea Ripley as we head towards that six-man tag at Crown Jewel a week from this Saturday. So, one of the obvious first names that I think gets tossed around due to the fact of who she is and everything is Charlotte Flair. Now, you could say it would be too obvious for Charlotte to be the one they would choose. And you'd be correct. She would be too obvious. She would be too obvious. But they could play into the history between Charlotte's dad, Ric Flair, and AJ Styles. And allude to the fact that AJ was once part of a Fortune faction, if you will. They don't have to really say it by name, but they could allude to it as a Fortune horseman-like faction led by Ric Flair. At one point, they could, mention that and tie in, like I say, Charlotte's dad's connection to AJ and AJ's connection to the Flair family because of that association, which was back in TNA in 2010 and 11. They could do that, and that would make sense. And also, from a history standpoint, Rhea has history with Charlotte Flair. Charlotte is the only person that's ever beaten Rhea clean and made her tap. So what better way to counteract Rhea than with the person that, let's be honest, without cheating, she can't really beat. So that's one name that's been tossed about. Another name being mentioned and tossed about is Emma. That's right. Emma, I think, has also been talked about because she is no longer with Impact Wrestling, where she was Tennille Dashwood. So there's a good chance that Tennille, Emma, especially under the Emma persona, the Tennille Dashwood persona that we've been seeing her in lately, there's a good chance that she herself could show up to counteract Rhea Ripley. Now you might say, well, she's smaller than Rhea, and that is technically true, but still, she is someone that fans would love to see back in the company, more so along the lines with this new persona she has, and coming out to that Real Deal or All About Me theme song, which would really signify, I should say, not just certificate, but signify not only is she back, but potentially she's going to be a babyface that has that attitude that we last saw with in WWE and in Impact Wrestling. So Tennille Dashwood, Emma, if you will, is another name, from what I understand, that's being tossed about. Another one is Blair Davenport, aka Bea Priestley. And the reason Bea, that's B-E-A, Priestley, aka Blair Davenport, is being tossed about is because she is from NXT UK. I believe she showed up there towards the tail end of Rhea Ripley's run in NXT UK. And I think they do have a bit of history outside of WWE on the indies in the United Kingdom. So what better person to counteract Rhea Ripley than Blair Davenport, Bea Priestley, who from a size perspective, according to Wikipedia, equals up basically 5'7", if you will, because that's the height they give Bea and Rhea. What better person to counter her? And apparently, according to her theme song, she is raw power. In other words, she's very strong, so she can match power with Rhea as well. And maybe they could touch upon their history between each other, WWE that is, and the fact that maybe Blair has potentially maybe dominated Rhea in the past encounters. And it's the one person outside of Charlotte she can beat. So Bea Priestley, Blair Davenport is another name. Another name being talked about, though very highly unlikely, is Nia Jax. Yeah, you can't tell me people aren't bringing this name up. Now you might say, well, why would they want to bring Nia back? Especially after what she said online and everything. Because just like with Braun Strowman, they brought him back and they're letting him be the monster he's always meant to be. He was originally, and then kind of shied away from, but and never went back to, never got a chance to be that monster again, and now he is. So Nia Jax could be brought back in to be the Nia Jax, the dominant force of the women's division that she's always meant to be. So what better way to prove that than to counteract someone like, Rhea Ripley. So Nia Jax is a name that's been tossed about. But then also you have the Glamazon Beth Phoenix. Beth Phoenix is another name being talked about as well. And if Beth Phoenix is the one that's going to be called upon, you also know Edge is going to show up as well. But will that happen? We're not totally sure. It could be the most obvious solution, but we will see. But Beth Phoenix is also a name being tossed about as someone that's going to join the OC to counteract and neutralize Rhea Ripley. And really, I think that's all I could say about this. I mean, there are other names from NXT and that have yet to show back up and return to WWE that potentially could make an impact. I mean, Mia Yim is another name that could counteract Rhea Ripley. That's a name we could probably see joining with them. And she does, from a style perspective and presentations perspective, does fit in with the OC, so we could probably see Mia Yim. But there's Mia Yim, there's Nikita Lyons, there's Zoe Stark, there's a lot of names, in WWE, NXT-wise, outside of WWE and all that are yet to return, that used to be part of the company, that used to be part of AEW and Impact. There's a lot of names that could be utilized. But these are just the names that I feel are being tossed about right now in WWE, as the ones that would join alliances with the OC and AJ Styles against the Judgment Day. But who do you guys think? Who do you think will be the one out of any of those names I've mentioned that could be the neutralizer, the counteractor to Rhea Ripley? Let me know down below in the comment section below. As I mentioned at the beginning, like the video, super chat, super stickers. As I mentioned at the beginning, we're open and on. Hopefully you've chatted and super chatted. Hopefully you've super chatted during them. Also super thanks afterwards. And again, just like I mentioned, you know where to find me as I talked about at the beginning. But let me know what your guys' thoughts are. How do you feel about some of the names I tossed out there? Who do you think will probably be the more likely choice out of any of those? And until next time, guys, I'll talk to you later.